All right.
Friday.
Yay!
3-day weekend. I get to sleep in 3 days.
Oh, that's right. It's Labor Day weekend.
That's right.
Although it's not going to be such a great holiday weekend with that hurricane out there.
God.
The whole East Coast is going to be rough tide, even if it's not near you.
Yeah, I checked with JB. He's getting his generator and everything all set up. And, you know, he's over on the
West
Gulf
Coast.
Coast. Yeah, the Gulf Coast. He's about 45 miles inland. He's in Old Town would be the thing on the map. Fanning Springs, Old Town Fanning Springs area. So we'll see. And I have a sister in Williston. I'm going to call her today, but my sister, she you know, there ain't no storm dare touch your house.
You ready, buddy? All right, let's take off out of here. It's cool this morning. I think Johnny said it's only 60 degrees out here. You walk out the door and it's like, oh, it's so refreshing. Don's got the garage doors up so the garage will cool down. And yeah. Johnny's got his third his third driver's ed class tonight, which is going to prevent him from going to Taekwondo. Good morning, Ruby. I'm really worried about parking over here at the school for Lego League. The blue pickup truck, the van, and the green pickup truck, they're basically parked along the side of the school all the time. And they're large vehicles and they're taking up a lot of the school parking. They have a right to do it. I certainly wish they wouldn't do it. Yeah, I'm pretty tired this morning, I gotta admit it. And that traffic was, well, I got Johnny here at like 7:18. That was totally good. But the traffic was so heavy and I'm just tired of being out there already. It is early in the school year with people that want to drive their vehicles like it's a weapon. Yeah. I'm just bracing myself for the return trip, although it's never as bad as the trip into town. Yeah. I decided to pull into Lake Wheeler Park for a few minutes to de-stress from the morning commute. This park is just down the road from Yates Mill, but has a different mission and different rules. This park you can bring your animals to, and there's boating, regular boating out on the lake. Yates Mill is a nature preserve and no pets, and well, they canoe on it 3 or 4 times a year, but that's it. I love this view coming down the hill, going out to look over the water. See a couple of folks out there rowing. A couple of geese over here. It's gorgeous. It's very peaceful here. Just me and the heron now. I had hoped to go out to the end of one of these docks and take some pictures, but there's so much geese poop that you can't walk out there. It's that bad. So, bummer. I think the trail over to that little gazebo, pavilion, whatever you want to call it, is easy walking and not too far. So I think I'm going to check that out. Yeah, this trail is not so great. It's rocky and bumpy and roots, and really appreciating how nice they keep the one at Yates Mill being over here. But the view of the lake's worth it. What a lovely house. I'm sure there are advantages and disadvantages to owning it bordering this close to the park. I've walked on some of the trails at Lake Wheeler before, but I don't believe I've come out here. And I've canoed past this. I think I've... But, yeah, I don't think I ever took the time to actually walk over here. You can see the docks in that direction. The dam is on the far end down there where Lake Wheeler Road is. And Carrie's basically in that direction. There's a lot of gnats out here this morning. And I have to say that I'm surprised and a little disappointed that this does not have any place to sit on it. So if you wanted to come out here and sit, you'd have to bring your own chair. Well, I really enjoyed walking over here, but it's time to mosey on back to the house now. The trail essentially ends here. It'd be really great if it continued on around the lake. It's always so much wildlife to see when you're walking close to the water. You can see up here that they do have a space for storing some small boats and you know, for those that go out and row. There's some John boats up there and that kind of thing. Another day when it's not so early in the morning and it's sunnier over there, I'll take you into the pavilion and over to the perennial garden, but it's mostly all in the shade right now. Although I wouldn't say this park is that great for running. They do have an adult exercise and fitness station back there. You know, someplace you can stop and do squats and other kinds of stretches. Here's the dam up at the entrance to the park. There's some ducks down there in the water enjoying themselves on this pretty morning. So, would you like to take a guess if I want to make an appointment at the DMV to take Johnny for his learner's permit?
Sure.
Or when's the earliest appointment I can get?
November, first week of November.
Try the first week in January.
First week in January. Yes, don't you love the efficiency of the government?
Well, that's because North Carolina has that Real ID thing.
Right.
And
Every
they're
state
backed
has.
up.
Right.
So they said they put more people on it to try to fix it. Let me just tell you right now, it's not fixed.
No.
I told her, I said, look, I'm not mad at you, but that's totally unacceptable. And I said, can I still show up down there and wait for 3 or 4 hours to get his learner's permit? And she said, yes. And I said, well, I guess that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to be really upset like everyone else.
That's right.
Thank you, state.
Sorry.
God bless America.
Poor kid.
Oh, it's usually not this crowded in the afternoon. Come on, guys. It's already 2:07. I got places to be today. Well, there's some sort of an accident up here. That's what's going on. Right up here at the light. This is that horrible, horrible spot I drive through every morning. The worst part of my commute, hands down. Wow, I really lucked out going to the right and having to turn right and then go through the shopping center because they're loading up that car back there. I just got through that mess. Hope nobody was hurt. It just looked like a bunch of bumper parts. I don't know that it was an injury accident. There weren't any ambulances there, so hopefully it's just some metal. Hey, buddy. I want to pull my car in the garage so it stays cool until I have to go back and get Johnny. Meow. Meow. And that kind of means you have to move. Oh, are you in there too, Gray? Hi. I'm on my way to get Johnny the beautiful beautyberry bush that's behind the car. When I back out of the garage, it's leaning over now some with the weight of those berries. I'm having to watch out for it. I don't know who's driving. Wow, that's Johnny again. That's great. Run down on today's driving summary.
So we were all the way to 401 and farther. We basically, we were in Holly Springs.
Yeah, she said they went to Ting Park, and to put that in perspective for you, keep talking, Johnny, but I'm going to put that in Ruby and see how far she says that is.
Our max speed was 45, although by accident I peaked around 50 by accident.
So Ting Park is 22 minutes and 10 miles from here at normal driving speed. So, well, that's cool, but I mean, that's a significant driving today. And tomorrow she says she's taking them on 540. They're going on the interstate. Wow.
That means we have to go all the way to Raleigh.
And she says she's seen improvement today. She definitely said there was improvement, so that's good. Before I got out of Ruby, I turned off the AC, manually. And I made sure the door is closed, and I'm going to plug her in. Someone was asking on Tesla Owners North Carolina Facebook page why the car starts to charge even though it's not set to charge until later. And sure enough, it's green over there, but it's not throbbing. It didn't pull any electricity. Usually, if the AC's on or if the door's still open, it charges for a minute, and or it looks like it's doing something for a minute. I don't know that it actually starts. And then as soon as the door's shut and the car kind of goes dark, then it stops that. But yeah, you can see the charge is scheduled. It's not actually doing anything. So it kind of makes a difference if the AC is running or not. And then, usually if you've gotten out, the only reason the AC would still be running is if you had climate on or you hadn't shut your door yet. Which on the X, sometimes I do walk away and listen for it to shut behind me if my hands are full. So while I was gone to get Johnny, Don temporarily installed. He's laughing, snickering behind me. But I said, look, you're going to leave it like this for a week or two till JB comes when you guys run it through the wall. And the whole point of doing this is to make sure we're happy with the location for all points in the house.
Right, that's the approximate placement.
I mean, you don't go drilling through the wall until you're sure things are where that you really want them, right?
Right.
I mean, so I'm sure nobody's going to make fun that it's paint taped up there for a few weeks possibly.
Right, exactly.
And you did a good job making sure nobody will trip and the cats won't fool with it. So we're good.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it looks, that black cable is really ugly, but c'est la vie, it'll work fine.
So you wanted to give them another update?
Right, the we used our Nexus power station when they had that power failure this week, and
the thing with the Ego 7.5 amp hour batteries.
And then I used I pulled two of the batteries off to cut the grass and weed whack and blow the driveway and all those types of things. And during this time, while it's been idle, I've had my kilowatt meter on it and I measure how much energy it uses when it's not really doing anything. And it only uses 7 watts when it's not charging the battery.
So like a C7 Christmas light bulb?
Yeah, just like a night light.
Night light, yep.
But then I did charge the batteries from after I cut the grass and all that stuff and put on there. And it drew approximately 130 watts. Now it's rated at 170 watts, but it was actually actively charging at 130 watts. So it isn't a fast charger like the other one. I think the other one is something like 350 watts. So it's pretty powerful.
That's the one hanging on the wall out there by the old radio.
The 1 hour charger. I think if you look on the side, I think it says 350
Yeah,
watts.
the one that comes in handy before you had 3 batteries if you needed to charge stuff up while you were mowing and weed whacking and blowing and stuff.
Right. And then the other thing is they've reduced the price $200 at some Home Depot locations, not ours, but I'm going to call Home Depot and see if I can get refunded. It's now $9.95, which makes it a little bit more palatable. It's still a little pricey. If you're not into the Ego line of
lawn equipment,
then it probably isn't a necessarily good purchase unless you've got a real niche thing for using it, which we sort of have. You know, Marianne, this is something Marianne can bring into the house, and she can run in the event I'm not around during a power failure. It'll get her TV back up.
Right. Anyone that can't handle starting a gas operated generator could handle moving this if they took the batteries out of it and then reassembled it back in the location they wanted to plug it in at.
You were going tailgating or something like that. I mean, this would be handy because it just doesn't have enough lasting. I mean, it's 2,000 watts is reasonably powerful enough, 3,000 peak, but it just doesn't, you know, it only runs for a few, it depends on how much your load is, but, you know, 2, 3, 4 hours, I mean, you're lucky at that point. You know, most normal loads, you know, you're only going to get a few hours of use, and if it's a heavy load like 2,000 watts, it's like 38 minutes, so it's not particularly useful for those types of things. It's just for temporary, you know, short-term power needs.